Published 0200 Est, the 17th of November 2017. Updated 0535 Est, the 17th of November 2017. Gaia Pope, who suffers from epilepsy, was last seen in Swanage, Dorset on November 7. A driver claims to have chilling footage of Gaia Pope just hours after she was last seen running down a road in a distressed state as her family cling to the hope that she is still alive. The grainy dashcam footage was recorded outside Gaia's home village Langton Matravers in Dorset at 11:35 p.m. on November 7, the day she vanished. The car stopped near Dancing Ledge, the coastal path beside a 70-foot cliff where a walker yesterday found a pile of clothes thought to belong to Gaia. Shortly after the discovery, Dorset police arrested a man named locally as 49-year-old carpenter Paul Elsey on suspicion of murder. He is the uncle of Gaia's school friend Nathan Elsey, 19, who was arrested on Tuesday with his grandmother Rosemary Dinch. They were later released. Gaia had been staying with her aunt, Gaia Pope, for some 2 weeks because she was concerned about the release of a man convicted of assault 2 years ago. Gaia is from nearby Langton Matravers but had recently been staying with an aunt in Swanage, a few streets away from the home of Nathan Elsey. Today, Gaia's father and cousin gave an emotional interview on Good Morning Britain urging anyone with information about the teenager to come forward. Her father Richard Sutherland fought back tears as he described his daughter as a typical teenager and with a big heart and great spirit, and made a desperate appeal for help in finding her. He told viewers there are vast amounts of CCTV, possibly dashcam footage, so if you've got anything around that time please come forward. A motorist claims this grainy footage, recorded just outside Gaia's home village of Langton Matravers in Dorset at 11:35 p.m. on November 7, could show the teenager being dropped off. Gaia's father Richard Sutherland fought back tears as he thanked members of the public and the police for their help in finding his daughter. Ongoing search. Forensic teams combed films for evidence on Thursday after finding clothes believed to belong to Gaia. An unnamed driver who captured what they claim is dashcam footage of Gaia told the Mirror the passenger appeared to be saying goodbye to someone as they were being dropped off. Gaia Pope was last seen on November 7. The driver said, "I saw someone leaning into the car, as if they were talking to someone. To stop on a main road, on a blind bend in the dark, it's a strange place to stop," as he clung to hope. Gaia's father today told GMB his daughter was a very loving girl, adding she had great ambitions in her life to be in nursing or some sort of health and social care. Of her epilepsy, he said the doctors have said that she is at risk of sudden death from epilepsy, or sudden epileptic death. It's pretty serious. Gaia's cousin Mariana Pope Wideman added Gaia's condition has been really deteriorating over the last 6 months to a year. She rarely gets through a day without a seizure. Those bigger seizures are often accompanied with quite prolonged periods of confusion and disorientation. There's been times when SHES not recognized us for a short time afterwards, not really understood where she is. That's a big part of what's made this case so complicated. Last pictures. Gaia Pope was seen buying an ice cream at a petrol station in Valley Road between Langton Matravers and Swanage at around 2:55 p.m. on Tuesday, November 7. Shortly after, she disappeared. A map shows the timeline of events we know about so far before Gaia Pope disappeared, and the properties that have been searched in the hunt for her. She was spotted at a petrol station near Swanage at 2:55 p.m. buying an ice cream, having been driven there by a member of her family. She was then seen on CCTV sprinting along Morrison Road in Swanage, last spotted banging on Rosemary Dink's door in Manor Gardens. Investigation. Swanage was where Gaia was last seen with clothes found 200 yards from 70-foot cliffs popular with hikers. The motorist said this car stopped near Dancing Ledge, the coastal path where a member of the public yesterday found a pile of clothes thought to belong to Gaia. Mariana said, "Somebody out there who knows something who's not come forward yet will be what gives the family the answers that we desperately need." Gaia's father added, "One thing we've really tried to do is not to go off down every speculation because that can lead you to 100 different ideas with the 100 different variations on everything. But it's entirely possible that her epilepsy has played a big part in this, and that's meant it's been more difficult to find her. Police yesterday cordoned off a section of the southwest coast path around 200 yards inland from the cliff edge between the beauty spots of Anvil Point and Dancing Ledge. It is around an hour's walk from where Gaia, who suffers from epilepsy, was last seen in Swanage, Dorset, and 2 miles south of her family home in the village of Langton-the-Travers. The owner of the clothes has not yet been identified, but the discovery by a walker was significant enough that Gaia's family were informed. Gaia was wearing grey and white woven leggings, white trainers and a red checked shirt with white buttons when she vanished. Mrs. Dinch, 71, was arrested hours after she was interviewed on local TV, where she described how Gaia pounded on her door, saying, help me to find Paul's father." Greg Elsey told Mail Online his son was innocent and said he believed police were unfairly targeting his family. Above, Nathan Elsey, 19, pictured left with grandfather Greg Wright on Thursday. Paul Elsey, who is being held in police custody on suspicion of murder, shares a first-floor flat with his mother, Mrs. Dinch, 71, in Swanage, where Gaia was last seen. CCTV footage of Gaia on November 7 shows her running down the road towards Paul Elsey's flat at 3:40 p.m. She is said to have banged on his door in a distressed state, and Mrs. Dinch claimed she then stripped to her bra. The pensioner then says she convinced Gaia to put her clothes back on, except for a black jacket which was later recovered from the address. Detectives had been trying to track Paul Elsey down since he went missing on Tuesday afternoon, a week after Gaia disappeared. They seized his VW Golf and obtained a warrant to search his father's £460,000 bungalow in Romsey, Hampshire, on Tuesday. Pictured Grey Elsey's home in Romsey, Hampshire, where Rosemary Dinch and their grandson Nathan have been staying, as their home in Swanage is under investigation. The mother of missing teenager Gaia Pope, pictured right, Natasha Left, launched a Facebook appeal desperately urging people to check their garages and vans because she could be held prisoner there. Police yesterday cordoned off a section of the southwest coast path around 200 yards inland from the cliff edge between the beauty spots of Anvil Point and Dancing Ledge. According to his father, Paul Elsey claims he was in Weymouth, Dorset, on the day Gaia disappeared, carrying out work on a property he owns there. Greg Elsey said last night while his son could not stand the missing teenager, he was 110% innocent. Greg Elsey claims his son was being wrongly targeted by police and said he was away working at the time she disappeared. Greg Elsey said, "It's disgusting how the police have performed. I wanted to make sure Paul had got legal representation before he was taken away. The only reason Paul has not been around is because he felt he would be victimized and so decided to stay out of the way." The flats belonging to Paul Elsey, his mother and Nathan are still being combed over by forensic officers, and teams of officers and volunteers have been searching woodland and ponds around Swanage. Defiant Greg Elsey, pictured right with grandson Nathan, said his 49-year-old son did not like Gaia but is 110% innocent. Gaia left with Russell Brand and Wright on social media as epileptic, and also badly affected by a traumatic incident 2 years ago. Her family has said investigation. Swanage was where Gaia was last seen, with clothes found 200 yards from 70 feet cliffs popular with hikers. Ongoing search. Forensic teams combed films for evidence on Thursday after finding clothes believed to belong to Gaia. Anguish, the father of the missing teenager, Richard Sutherland, broke down during an interview to ITV News and said his family has been left distraught by Gaia's disappearance. The last movements above shows the last known movements of Gaia Pope. She was spotted at a petrol station near Swanage at 2:55 p.m. buying an ice cream, having been driven there by a member of her family on November 7. She was then seen on CCTV sprinting along Morrison Road in Swanage before being spotted banging on Rosemary Dinch's door in Manor Gardens. The 19-year-old's family maintains she is alive and have thanked members of the public for their support as the hunt for Gaia continues. Earlier this week, Gaia's aunt Gaia Pope, 59, told Mail Online there was still no evidence to prove she is dead and police have not found a body. She said, "We are just searching until we find her. The search is continuing for my niece. It's ongoing at the moment. It's inconclusive, but we are just searching until we find her." We've got a long way to go yet. 2 days before her disappearance, Gaia posted a message on Instagram that said she was worried about being shut up and put in a cell with the hashtag #UalaSue, and one follower urged her to run somewhere safe. And on the day of her disappearance, her father said she had become upset following an interaction on Facebook. The mother of missing teenager Gaia Pope, pictured right, Natasha Left, launched a Facebook appeal desperately urging people to check their garages and vans because she could be held prisoner. Their family, distraught Gaia's loved ones, say their world has been turned upside down following her disappearance. Pictured, Gaia Left with her mother Natasha center left, sister Claire center right, and her twin sister Maya right. A neighbor, Jack Good, 25, said there had been reports of shouting and screaming from Mrs. Dink's flat on the day Gaia disappeared. Mr. Good said, "The person who lives below told me they heard shouting and screaming on the day it happened. It would have been not long before she went missing." Debbie, Nathan's mum, went over and apologized to them, disturbing them. He added that Gaia appeared to be good friends with Elsie. The cousin of Gaia Pope made an emotional statement on Wednesday, saying she believed her relative was still alive. Mariana Pope Wiedemann said the family were devastated by her disappearance but have not given up hope the 19-year-old will be found. Speaking to Meridian TV, Mariana said the CCTV footage of Gaia running from the address where she was last seen alive was frightening for the family. She said it was just an ordinary day, then she disappeared. "It's frightening looking at the CCTV because we don't know what the story is. We just know she is alive." Mariana said the family were left shocked and confused by the arrest of 19-year-old film extra Nathan Elsie, as he was considered a friend of the teen. He was arrested on suspicion of murder with his 71-year-old grandmother Rosemary Dinch, but later released by police. Nathan and Gaia were friends. They went to school together. "I can't believe he has any reason to hurt her," said Mariana. "I believe she is out there. She is just waiting for us to find her." Gaia's mum and dad are devastated. There are no words for what they are going through. "The community has been absolutely incredible and we are so profoundly grateful for what everybody is doing and we ask them to keep going," he said. "I saw Gaia. I think she was good friends with Nathan. I probably saw her walking to his flat with him twice a week before she disappeared. They spent a lot of time together." Gaia is from nearby Langton Matravers but had recently been staying with an aunt in Swanage, a few streets away from the home of Nathan Elsie. Neighbors there said Gaia had visited Nathan's flat 2 or 3 times a week before she disappeared, but weren't sure if they were a couple or close friends. A female relative of Emily Brylick, a close friend of Nathan's, said, "I have heard about the arrest. I just don't believe it. He is a very quiet young man. I have known Nathan for quite a while and he is good friends with my granddaughter. They go to the same college. He comes here and I take her to his house. He is a very gentle young man who doesn't go out. I just don't believe it." Hundreds of volunteers as well as police officers and search teams have been involved in trying to find the teenager this week. The Coast Guard and hundreds of members of the public have been searching for Gaia on cliffs, woods, nature reserves and beaches. Her older sister Clara Pope Sutherland, 21, told the Daily Echo on Tuesday, "We just want her to come home. She's a home bird. She would never do anything like this. She's just not the kind of person to go off like this. She'd always let us know what was happening. That's the most concerning thing of all. We're so worried and we just want to know she's safe." Comedian Russell Brand, who has more than 12 million followers on Twitter, retweeted a poster with information about the appeal. "Sorry, we are not currently accepting comments on this article.